Is this officially recording? Oh, it is.
Yes.
Oh shit. Hey man. I had to double check and triple check because this is our first time using this. Why is it? Oh, it's already uploading. Why is it uploading? Oh, does it upload as we go?
Yeah.
That is so cool. Recording is done. You need to stick around a little bit to upload your high quality. Okay, cool. Hey
Cool.
guys, welcome back to another episode of Chad and Dad. This is
What's
where,
up, Dad?
yeah,
What's
this is
up, all you
where
dads in the world?
This is where Artha, the Chad, the single Chad, and me, a dad, just banter for an hour to talk about basically a little bit about everything and a little bit about nothing. That's probably the best description.
I like that. I like that. We get a little bit of both of serious talks and probably nothing at all.
Yeah, we haven't actually done these for a while, man. I haven't been able to get a hold of you for like the last 3 weeks. What have you been up
Well,
to?
as you know, I live a very busy contractor hybrid life. No, honestly, so my mom from Indonesia was visiting my family the last 2 weeks.
Nice.
So the last 3 weeks, I've been just trying to finish all the projects and finish everything I had to before I flew to the States and to hang out with my mom and my sister's family. And then last week, my sister's family and my mom flew to Vancouver to hang out with me. So honestly, the last 2 weeks has been mostly just like kind of having like some nice quality family time because I don't know if our listeners know or hundreds and thousands of listeners know that
So many,
so
too
many,
many to count.
starting from Lynn, yes,
How's yeah?
yeah, that my family is all over the place geographically. So my mom is in Indonesia, and my sister is in San Francisco, and I am in Vancouver, Canada. So sometimes having a family dinner needs quite some planning, usually
A lot
months
of
or years in
coordination.
ahead. But
Nice. Yep.
so yeah, so the last 2 weeks, honestly, just wanted to have some good quality time with family. That's why I've been missing in action. I apologize, but I
So
don't.
hard
I
getting a
don't. I
hold of
regret
you.
nothing. It was great.
Ignoring my calls and my cries for help.
Yeah.
So you were in San Fran for you said 2 weeks, and
Yeah,
then
so
one week
no,
here.
I'm in San Francisco for a week, and then we flew to Vancouver for another week. And the reason why they flew to Vancouver is because my sister and my mom was supposed to check out this comedy show that I am opening for,
Yeah.
which like in Indonesia we say humankind can plan, the universe, the universe will decide.
So
So, unfortunately, the comedy show is postponed. So, my mom and my sister did not get a chance to see me perform.
yeah,
However, there is a silver lining for everything.
which is
So, okay, so we originally have two headliners. One is a stand-up comedian, and he couldn't make his flights for a reason I cannot disclose. And the second one is this duo folk musician who has like millions of listeners on Spotify.
hmm,
And so the musicians were ready to go. So yeah, the musicians were ready to go, and they hired a band. So when they got the call, it was like, "Hey, we need to postpone the event." Of course, they're a bit disappointed, things like that. But
yeah.
what can you do? But I got a call at 10 p.m. and they told me, "You know what, Artha? Let's do it. Let's just perform. Let's just perform. We already have the band, things like that. We
Should
just
have
have
done
to
it
find."
anyways, man.
We just That's what I said. But you know what?
Yeah.
Some people, well,
Show
because
must go on.
the main headliner was
I
not
thought
there.
you're the main headliner, buddy.
I Me too. For some people, I was, at least for my mom and my sister. But
uh,
you know what? The next day, we end up making like a small pop-up concert for these musicians, and I end up doing like a bit stand-up comedy bit for 5 minutes, and it was a private event because like it was mostly done for like the people who traveled very far to watch this event. So at
So
least they
you,
didn't travel far for
so
nothing.
your mom and your sister,
And a
or
couple
are
of the
they?
musicians fans. Some of them like traveled from Seattle, things like that. So
Wow. Oh damn! I didn't know this event was so big. That's
yeah,
pretty cool,
man.
man.
No, no, yeah, that's why. So it was a very Herculean effort to like set up this concert because like
Mm-hmm.
I had to like call everyone I know who like had like connections to a coffee shop or venue or anything that could like place like two musicians, a band, and like at least like 20 people. I end up like contacting someone who I met in a party, and I talked to them for like a good like 15 minutes. And I remember they managed this venue, this really cool venue in East Van. So I emailed them at 10 p.m. at night. They replied to me the next day at like 9 a.m. And then they're like, "Wow, looks like you've been in a pickle, but sure, you can use our place." And I'm like, "Boom." So then
So
the
this was
fastest,
so from my understanding, this was a very impromptu event that you just decided to hold at a
yeah,
cafe.
yeah, well, no, it was at like this community space. So this couple who manage it lives there, and it's really cool. The space basically they focus on like giving opportunities to people. So if you're a musician or if you like have an art show and you want to do a show, feel free to do it there. All they ask is basically if you are charging tickets, charge it by donation, not suggested donations, by donation, so anybody can attend the event. Because the idea is like you want to make the space inclusive for everyone. So I emailed them, and again, I think I think they feel bad for me, or like they feel bad for my family who flew all the way. So they're like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 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 we remember you. You were cool. I'm like, cool. And
That's
then
pretty cool, dude.
yeah,
Nice.
no, no, it ended up being like the original event was supposed to be like almost like 2 3 hours, and then this one became just like an hour-ish. But it was like very nice and intimate. And you know what? From Wednesday, where like the main headliner called us like, "Hey, sorry, can't make the flight," and everybody was like stressing out. We're thinking of ways to like
Yeah.
basically like make an apology post on Instagram and social media, and then like like thinking of like, should we cancel this? Should we go on? Should we postpone? And in the end, I think it's best if we postpone. But if some people want to get a refund, of course we understand. But the fact that on Thursday we still made something happen, it was kind of cool. So,
Yeah. No,
so
that's
yeah,
pretty cool,
that
dude.
is what I've been doing lately, other than family time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of lesson about you know what? In the end, you should just be nice to people in general, because
I guess there's a lesson coming out of all this.
I mean, yeah. And I guess that wraps this week's podcast. All right, see you next week, man.
No, that's pretty cool, man. Like it's I will say that I mean even though the main event didn't work out, it is what it is, but at the very
Mm,
least you were able to do something for your parents, which is obviously like they came all the way from Indonesia to see you. Well,
yeah.
your mom did.
Yeah,
And the
and you
fact
know
that
what?
yeah.
What's really cool is like originally the main venue for the event that was postponed was like 19 plus because they serve alcohol.
Yeah.
This venue was like all ages, so my nephew who also came was like 7 years old, was able to check me out as well. So in the end,
Oh, originally he was going to have to stay at
originally
the
we were just gonna
hotel.
get a babysitter and just like
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, that's pretty cool, man. Like I will say I was very much looking forward to your comedy shows. So,
I was very looking much forward for my like first and probably last comedy show.
how did you do? Did you
You
get
know
your mom to
what?
laugh?
No, I mean, of course, my mom laughed. My mom will like, I would be like dead on the floor, and my mom will still like be proud of me. But I think in the end, like, some jokes was really good. Some jokes that I thought was really good did not hit the way I expected. Some jokes
Yep.
that I thought was meh killed it, and I'm like, huh. It's honestly, And this is like, I think like trying stand-up comedy is like one of my bucket lists. But not like, not just like open mic, like actually performing a show. So my original idea is like I just do this one show, I invite all my friends, let them see that I done this once, and then
Yeah.
you know I'm okay if I never do it again ever because it's not really my passion. It's just something I want to try out. And then so, but that had a hiccup, but it's still
You got it done.
yeah, I got it done, and my family got a chance to see it, and in the end, I got a chance to do like a second show. So it's pretty good.
Well, it's
Keeping
pretty, yeah, well, it's pretty clear you got to do it again because obviously I wasn't invited to
oh
the
yeah, yeah.
second show.
Honestly, you know what, man? I think so. I think I'm not really sure about the total ticket sales. I'm pretty sure it's above like 200, and it's pretty good. But pretty sure a good like 40 or 50 of it are like my friends. So
I
it's
mean,
just
you got to
like
start somewhere, right?
a
Yeah.
good quarter of them are like just like wanted to see me like do like a stand-up bit for like 20, 30 minutes, and then they don't really care about the other two headliners, so they're like, why did you cancel, just go on. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what, I wish I could. It's just this other 150 people are probably not just for me. So
Damn. Yep. So what's happening with the show? Are you guys postponing it?
so right now so with events, good thing we have insurance and everything, but there are like some incurred costs, for example like the flight costs. No, actually, flight costs, I think we got credit. The hotel costs, we have to pay for one night, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's just like, of course, like some people are already asking for refunds. We just need, so we partner with this ticketing thing called Admin One. And when one day, Joseph, one day you decide to make like an event, whether that's like a show or something, you will
It's
partner with
our
this ticketing
it's gonna be
event.
our joint comedy show. You and
It'll be
I.
like our live podcast. Yeah, but when that happens, they're usually like, it happens all the time when like shows cancel because like the performers cannot make it.
Yeah,
So
it happens. Yep.
like, they're the one who's gonna be issuing the refund, but before they issue the refund, they need to know when the new date is.
Mm-hmm.
And when the new date is announced, people have 2 weeks to decide to refund their tickets or not. And then their old tickets will be good for the new ones, but of course, if anybody wants a refund, it's definitely fair. So right now we're just negotiating with this like headliners team because everything was just like so rushed last week, or not rushed. Everything was just so sudden, and then this headliner is now going to like Europe and everything to like perform, continue his tour.
Oh, what? Oh, this
Yeah,
was like one stop in his tour.
yeah.
I didn't realize that. I thought he was coming here from Indonesia, you said?
Well, he's Indonesian,
Just
but now he lives in New York, and he's like one of the biggest comedians.
Joe Coy? No. What was his name again?
Not Joe Coy. Joe Coy is Filipino. He's like who's like I don't want to say like the Noah. What's his name? The
Kate.
Today
No.
Show,
No. Noah. Oh God, I should know this.
right?
Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah. Yeah, something like maybe like to that in terms of popularity. But yeah, so it's just very unfortunate that it happened. But like
Yeah.
you said, man, circling back, the main lesson is okay. The damage, not necessarily the damage is done. It is what it is. We just have to. We're just not gonna have like a show that we expect on October 24th. What can we do, right?
Yeah.
And overall, the organizers, like the team, will really bounce back quite quickly.
Hmm.
And it's almost like a nice philosophy of life as well. Where like, you know what? There'll be things where you don't expect in life. It's
Things
just
don't always work out in life, but you gotta
exactly,
take the good parts of it.
exactly. It's just like how do you react to that? And I think overall, it's like the organizer treated well. We call our sponsors. We call like everyone involved that needs to know really quickly. So
Hmm.
it's good that the announcement happened like a day before, so people can still like. It's not like during the day on Thursday. So
Were you part of the organizing team?
sorry,
Were you part of the organizing team?
I was, yes,
That's pretty
but my
cool.
But
Yeah.
my department was more like about like the venue.
You're right.
So like I'm responsible like finding the venue and like talking to like the technicians, things like that.
Right.
So
That's
yeah.
cool, man. Yeah.
No, it is,
Um,
it is. It's definitely like okay, like Indonesians we really like live events, like music, concerts, theater, things like that. Like
yeah.
really, really. So like it was supposed to be we're very excited for it. But yes.
To the next one, I guess.
Mm,
Don't worry. When you plan the next one, I'll be there.
don't worry, I will let you guys know as well. But not right now, like the people who are like negotiating with the person, we should hear back from them like tomorrow. Because the thing is, we also have to like organize it where this comedian is available at the same time the musicians are available. Because the
Right.
musicians still have to perform as well, and of course when I'm available. So
Yeah, you're pretty hard to reach. I will tell you.
oh yeah, yeah you should contact you should contact my team next time.
Yeah, contact your agent. I try to
Yeah,
negotiate
man.
with them. Yeah.
But you know what? That is one of the dreams. You know, like when I was like doing this like kind of like pop up stand up. It is fun, and I can't imagine all the stand up comedians. And of course, they must work really hard making their materials. But like the one who really made it, like they just like talk for like an hour, 80 minutes.
See, I don't understand how people do that. Like stand-up comedy specials. How do you keep someone engaged for like 80 minutes, 90 minutes? Like that's an hour and a half of just straight up talking. And like you yourself is up there on the stage for 80 to 90 minutes. I'm like, how do you keep someone engaged and keep them laughing for like that long?
I think what I realize is most of the jokes that really hit or really engage with people is not something necessarily you think it's like funny or something. It's
Right.
something that's relatable
I agree with that.
and
Yeah.
like you relate to it and say, haha, I do that as well.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I
Like,
think that's why I really like improv. So like you react with the crowd, right? Like
right.
especially comedians that react to like hecklers and stuff, but they obviously do a good job at it. When they do it well, it's really funny to me. But I can't do like just stand up comedy material, just stories and stuff. It just doesn't hit the same way for an extended period of time.
Yeah, I think, and you know what? Like, I feel like even though like there are a lot of professional stand-up comedians, not all of them will like have like the same impact, you know? Some people will think like, oh, this particular stand-up comedian is annoying, and or that particular stand-up comedian is like not funny, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely like a lot of bias and things like that. So it's good that we have like a diverse pool of stand-up comedians. Because like for me, like I think one of the funniest thing, you know, like one time I went to my friend's place and I was trying to find like drawers for like chopsticks or something, and then there's like I found open a drawer full with like plastic bags, and
I
I'm
don't
like,
know where you're going with this.
and I'm just like I thought it was like the most hilarious thing ever because like I feel like a lot of Asian families like hoard plastic bags because somehow or like
Isn't that just like a trait that everyone does? And
no
my
really
my
I mean
family hoards plastic bags too. Yes.
no but it's mostly like Asian families apparently.
What do non-Asian families do?
They throw it away like lunatics.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, or like okay, like there's like one episode of Fresh Off the Boat where like they this Asian family was visiting their friend, their white friends for dinner, and then like the Asian kid was like, "Oh, where should I put? Oh, let me wash the dish. And where's your drying rack? Oh, you don't have to do that. You just put it in the washing machine." And it's like this Asian kid was like, "A washing machine? What the hell is that?"
You mean a dishwasher, right?
Yeah, sorry, a dishwasher. My bad. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, like a dishwasher. And I was like, and it turns out in this like Asian kid's house, they have a dishwasher, but they just use it as a drying rack. And I'm just like, You know what? That happened in my house as well. We had a dishwasher, but we didn't use it.
You know, you might be onto something because I realized growing up, I never used the dishwasher at all. Like we
Right?
just used it for storage.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
So it's just like those kind of things that like stand-up comedians do, and if you deliver it in a way that's, deliver something relatable, it's funny, like, oh, it's like a commonality we all have.
I'll give you
So
that.
that's something I learned really works well. Is just like, oh yeah, there. That's why like a lot of people when you go to stand-up shows, a lot of people will mostly talk about work or like dating,
Yeah.
you know. So it's just like very very common stuff, but the way they deliver it, it's like relatable.
So, what was your comedy show or comedy set about?
Well, it's a bunch of different stuff. One part was like making friends in Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought was good, but because like I feel this crowd actually like came from far away, like a lot of the crowd was not from Vancouver, so they didn't really understand.
Were they not? I thought it was mostly, like you said, some Seattle people and your parents
Yeah,
and your
yeah, but
mom
like
and
a lot
your
of them were
sister.
not Vancouverites, so it's just like
Where were they from?
I don't know.
Okay.
But then like when I joke about, like one of the jokes that I did was like my mom went to the border, and when the agent asked like, "Do you have anything to declare?" I'm just like, "No." But like every immigrant mom in the world who goes to Canada will have something in their baggage that is supposed to be declared, whether that's food or like snacks. It's just like, but they just always say no,
Yep.
and that killed it. That killed it with a lot of people because like, yeah, my mom did that. Dude, I
Nice.
like. There's even like one time where I'm like, you know what? I want CBSA to actually check my baggage because they never do. So from the States, I bought a burger, flew in. It's like, do you have any food or anything to declare? I was like, yes, I have In-N-Out burgers. Sorry? It's like, yes, I have In-N-Out burgers. You have it with you right now? It's like, yes. Do you want me to show it? Oh no, no, you have to throw it away. You can just throw it away in the bin. I'm like, oh, that's it? I'm like, yes. I'm like at one point I'm just like, oh, that's the process. But at the same time, I'm also a bit they were not disappointed, but more like, oh man, I really wanted to get checked. You know, I wanted to be like brought to another room, and of course I didn't brought anything like illegal or anything. Just that bird. I just wanted to know what the process was like, so that
Yeah.
anxiety is gone.
It's
If that
the
makes
it's the
sense,
feeling of yes, yes. It's a feeling of not knowing.
right?
And but obviously the downside is what if you get held up and then you miss your flight and then that just becomes a whole
Yeah.
another level of trouble.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I know it's
definitely.
happened to some people before.
Yeah. Did it happen to you?
Yeah. Uh the only time that I got held up was so I've never been checked because I've always been fairly good at getting stuff thrown away ahead of time or packing correctly or Lynn packs it for me. So
Nice.
I
Yeah.
never I screw up a little bit, but things kind of work out. There were a couple of times where I packed things that were way too big. Like for example, you're not supposed like all your liquids are supposed to be like under a certain
Yeah.
100 milliliters or something like that, and then I
Yeah.
end up packing like just like a big tub of toothpaste or like a
Oh, great.
full tub of like sunscreen or whatever, and then
Yeah, not
they
allowed, man.
they scan it and they figure it out, and I'm like, fine, you throw it away. There you go,
Yeah.
tossed and gone. But I'm just like, I still don't understand why this is a problem. Why things have to be under 100 milliliters. And I think places in like Europe, for example, they're way more lenient on these things nowadays. Like they actually allow you to bring water bottles through from the last time I was in Europe.
Oh, but doesn't it have to be empty?
No, dude. Like they
Ooh.
actually they're okay with you like having it full of water now because they're just I don't know. I think they just no longer care, or they
I
have
think
just
you know
better
what?
detection systems.
I guess so, because like I think I was looking it up. I think the original reason why they were so like, oh yeah, no liquids, things like that, is just like you can mix these liquids around and it becomes like kind of, let's say, like the like reaction could like cause like, something to like, worst case scenario, like explode or something, right?
With water.
But that's why like some batteries or like some power banks above like certain like voltage are not allowed to flights.
See, even that I don't understand. Like, why? So you can take the exact same battery and put that into your check-in luggage, but you
Yeah.
can't. Or sorry, no. You can bring it into your carry-on, but not your check-in luggage. I'm like, it's going on the same plane, dude. Like, I'm sure there's a science behind it, but
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think the logic behind it is just like if, let's say, like your power bank does explode in flight, at least with your carry-on you can reach it, right? I think that's the only logic.
you're still dying either way. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, at
yeah,
least you die with a fight.
yeah,
But yeah, it's definitely like that's my story of just like I just wanna try it. I just wanna try it out.
yeah,
Just like
yeah.
checkmate. I wanna feel how it feels to be like, like border patrol, those TV show.
Cops?
No, not
No,
cops. There's
no,
there's a
no.
TV show called
Oh,
Border Patrol.
yes,
And
yes.
then like they catch like people like accidentally bringing like bird eggs or something from like Australia.
I gotta watch that show, but
Well, if you're an immigrant, it used to give me so much anxiety.
oh yeah, dude. Like, yeah, people. Yeah, I think I've seen snippets of that show, and it's kind of crazy what the types of things people try to bring in, and I'm just like does this make sense logically? Like, even without the rules, does it make sense to be able to bring like a live snake in your luggage or something like that?
Right?
I don't
Oh
know.
man, I actually have a friend who used to work in like those airport security things.
Oh yeah,
When they're like, like get your bag scanned, things like that.
yeah.
One time she apparently like she told me there's someone who brought like a live grenade.
The fuck?
I
Wait, sorry.
know. And I'm like,
The F.
and then of course this guy was like taken to the side and they called the police and it's just like, why did you brought a live grenade? And it's like, and it's not even like those like joke lighter grenades, it's an actual grenade. Apparently the guy was like, oh yeah, I forgot it was in my luggage. I'm like,
Why do you have? Yeah, yeah.
all right.
On a
So I
on a
think
random
like,
side, yeah.
you know what, like people bring the craziest shit, I feel. So
So I think a lot of people are just oblivious in life. Like they just go la la la, like rules don't apply to me kind of thing, or
oh
just like,
yeah.
no big deal. Rules were made for other people. No big deal.
I
I can
guess
get
so,
by.
right?
Yeah.
And then you have people like me who's trying to test out the system. Does it work? Does it work?
Oh yeah. There was something I didn't talk about earlier is there was actually one time where like way back when, like 4 years ago. No, sorry, way longer than that. Like it was when Lynn and I started dating like a couple of years in. We actually wanted to do a trip to we went on a trip to Bali. Yeah. So there was I can't remember the specifics, but there was a rule saying like if your passport expires within 6 months, like if the expiry date of your passport is within 6 months of when you travel to Bali, you would not be allowed in
Oh.
past the passport barrier, or sorry, the border control at Bali. So this was a trip where I believe we started off in Japan or Korea, and then we flew from Japan and Korea over to Bali. So we spent like a week in Japan, whatever, and that was all great. Like we loved it. And then we flew into Bali, and then like I think you're supposed to get stopped at the border when you fly over, but then we didn't. So then when we flew into Bali, it was like from what I remember, it's like a 16-hour flight. It was ridiculous,
From
ridiculously long.
from Japan?
Maybe not Japan. I could be completely. Anyways, it was a really long flight from wherever we flew from, and that like we landed like let's call it like 8 or 9 hours later, and then we got to the border, and then we were super tired by then because I think it was like whatever, like 2, 3 in the morning or something like that. And then we were at the border, and then as we were crossing the border, the border guard looks at my passport and was just like, "Your passport expires in under 6 months, so we cannot let you in." And then we were like,
Ooh.
"What?" Like, yeah. So then they let us into our room, like a separate room, and then sat Lynn and I down. And this was like, again, 2 to 3 years into a relationship. We had like no idea what's going on. Fairly young, very young back then, and then fairly inexperienced when it comes to traveling. So then we sat there, and then they like basically put us into like a jail essentially. Like they put us into a room, and then they were just like, I think they were trying to bribe us, but like they were trying to like
Oh, ask for bribes?
ask for bribes. They like started sitting us down, acting all serious and stuff, and then ask us like, "Hey, what are you looking to do in this country and all that?" And I'm like, "What do you think we're looking to do? Like we're here on vacation. Like does it look like we're trying to import any drugs or something in? Like, dude." And then he went all serious and be like, "We cannot let you in. We're gonna have to fly. You're gonna have to go back to wherever you came from, right?" And then Lynn, I think, saved the day because she started like crying, like doing all the tears, like getting all the waterworks out and everything. And then I think the guy like felt really bad. And then, that me like trying to act really sad. I'm like, "Hey man, sorry. Like I didn't know. Can we actually still go in, et cetera, et cetera." And then we're like, okay. And then he like walked out, right? He took our passports and he walked out of the room and he said, "Give us a second." And then like 5 minutes later, he comes back in and he literally says, "Listen, here's what I can do for you. How much cash are you carrying?"
Okay.
And I looked into my wallet and I'm like, "I've got $30. Do you want $30? I can give you $30." And then he's like, No, just, don't do this again. We'll let you in. Don't do this again." And I'm like, "Okay, done." Walked in, no problems. Rest of the vacation, no problem. But I was just like, "Are you serious? Like, what just happened?"
Oh man. Man, well, as an Indonesian, sorry that happened to you. I honestly don't think that there's a law like that. I think like if it's like 2 or 3 months left, maybe, but come on, 6 months?
It was 6. I think I remember very accurately. I think I could be
No,
wrong.
I think honestly they were trying to rip you off. So
Oh,
very,
100%.
very sorry that happened to you. I honestly never, as an Indonesian, I rarely hear this happen, but I guess it happened to you guys. So very sorry.
Probably
It's
helps
re-
that you're Indonesian.
You know what? Next time you come, just let me know.
Next time you go, I'm coming with you.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like okay, Southeast Asia or like the other side of the equator, right? We operate in a different how you say, not different set of rules, but different kind of ethics. Okay, so for example, in Canada, everything is like written easily. You want to do something, apply for it. There's a form. Blah blah blah.
Yep, yep.
In Indonesia and even in like other countries that I traveled, if you have like the border agent's WhatsApp number and you WhatsApp the guy, he'll pick you up from the gate.
Huh.
It,
I guess
it,
it's
it happens, yeah, it does.
yeah.
And it's like when I visit my friends in Malaysia who are like pretty rich, like suddenly like I'm escorted to like a faster route. I'm like,
So you get right through the border control, and you're just like,
yeah,
"Oh, hey guys, what's
man,
up?"
dude, not even that. I remember like I was flying home from Indonesia to Canada, and then my flight was canceled. All right, my flight was canceled. I immediately went to the gate, and then the guy was like, yeah, so yeah, here's your hotel voucher. We can like, the bus will pick you up, things like that." And then I asked him, okay, so like, realistically, when do you think we're gonna get like a replacement flight? Oh, there's one like there's one like the same flight tomorrow that transits to Hong Kong, so you'll probably be put on that.
Wait,
It's
so
like
this was from Malaysia to Hong Kong?
no, Indonesia to Hong Kong.
Indonesia to Hong Kong. Gotcha. All
Right.
right, keep going.
Okay, and then all right, cool. Can I get your WhatsApp number, man? So like, if anything changes, like I can just WhatsApp you or something. And the guy in the gate was like, yeah, sure. Got his WhatsApp number, and then went to the hotel, and then I was so tired. This happened like at like 5 p.m. or something. Um, and then at like 9 p.m. we get like an email where it's like, "Oh, your flight's been rescheduled to like 1 a.m. in the morning." And
Damn.
I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I literally WhatsApp the guy, the agent guy. I'm like, "Hey man, is there any other flights where that's not 1 a.m. in the morning?" He's like, "Oh yeah, sure. Let me check." And I was like, there's like, oh yeah, there's one at like 11 a.m. more humane. I'm like, can you put me on that? Yeah, sure. And and
What
you
the
know,
hell, man?
by all accounts, this should not work because like my name, like should not be the itinerary is supposed to be the 1 a.m. one, but I'm like, okay. Came tomorrow morning, came next day, went at like 11 a.m. There you go. My name is there. Things like that. The guy made it work. I gave him like a tip. It's not a bribe. It's just a tip, and it's just like it's just like $2. It's like thank you so much for helping me. I'm just like,
It's not a tip. It's not a bribe. It's a tip.
It's
That
a
is what is that, like
yeah.
your life motto?
But that's how like third world countries operate, man.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was just like when I told my friends about this experience, they were like, "Oh, I don't know. What if we miss our flight?" But it's like, nah. The guy in the WhatsApp is like, it's not even like official. It's just like literally his personal WhatsApp number. So
Yeah. And it's interesting how like you have the power to do that when you're in those positions. I'm like, damn, can you just
yeah,
do that for everybody? Yeah.
man. Even like I remember I was in like Mexico. I was in Mexico City, and I was like, man, this feels exactly like Jakarta. So I start haggling for shit.
What did you haggle? I mean, isn't that a common thing? Like you do that in Mexico, you do that in like anywhere. Like
Yeah,
I've done
right.
that
But like
in
I was
like
traveling with
yeah.
my friend from France,
Oh yeah.
and he was like, "What the fuck? You can haggle?" I'm like, "You can do that?" I'm like, "You can negotiate?" I'm like, "Yeah, most countries in the world do, man. You just never left France
Yeah.
or Canada." So I'm just like,
Yeah, I think in most third world countries you can do so.
yeah. But I think you know
Totally.
what? I think my realization is like, it's not. It's definitely not. There are rules, 100%. There are rules, but they're less lenient about it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more about like how how can this like not put extra work on me while helping you out. If that makes sense. Because
That's one
sometimes if you
perspective.
fall like I remember, man. I remember when again. This is all right. This podcast is not good publicity for Indonesia, but this happened years ago, guys. But I remember that like your border situation, my thing. This happened years ago.
Yep.
Things probably
Yep.
changed. I haven't been home. Well, I haven't lived there in quite a bit. But I remember when I was in high school, when I want to get my license, right? Went went to the ICBC of like Jakarta. I was like, cool. I was like, what do you want to do? I want to register for my driving test. Cool. Um, do you want? Okay. If you want to register for the driving test, this is how much. If you want the faster way, this is how much. I'm like,
Yeah.
faster way. And the only thing
If
I
you
did
want to not take your test, you just pay me.
exactly, and then the only thing I did was took a picture, and then my friend who did it like the next week, he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna be a Nobel. I'm gonna do fucking everything." He spent like 6 hours there.
You spent 6 hours doing what? Like the
He,
actual
he spent
test,
six
or
hours in the ICBC of Jakarta. First, waiting for the test. Second, waiting for the interview. Third, waiting for the actual driving test. And then fourth, waiting for the results of the test to see if he passed or not, and he failed.
But for you, you just
Yeah, it was like
paid.
10 minutes. Yeah.
They took your picture, and you were on your way.
Yeah.
And you did that like within the building, the ICBC of Jakarta building.
With the police.
Huh. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the money went straight to the
Them.
cops'
Yeah.
pocket.
Yeah.
I'm curious. How much is something like that? Because I don't know what
It
Jakarta
varies,
currency.
man. Because, like, sometimes you just slip it to them so they don't really see it. So they're
Right.
just like, oh, thank you. Or, like, you shake their hand. So, like, it could range from, like, $2 to, like, $10.
What is like I guess I don't know like Jakarta currency, but like what is like the minimum wage? Is $2 a lot? Is that a
Um,
little?
when I started working, a fresh graduate, so I started working like around 2012, 2013. A fresh graduate's wage is like 500 between 500 to $700 a month
USD?
Canadian.
Wow.
Right.
Huh.
So it's a lot. Like $2 is a lot. $2 can feed you for a day.
Damn.
I know.
That's 500 to $700 Canadian.
Per month. Yeah. But everything is cheap back there. That's why like everything is manufactured in Thailand, everything is
Right.
manufactured in Indonesia or Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
labor is dirt cheap. I think like in Bangladesh is even worse. It's like $400 a month or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean that's why like our t-shirts and stuff are so cheap, you know.
Exactly, right?
Just yeah.
All right, your Lululemon shirt that costs like $60.
I wish
Thanks,
I wear
Chip
a
Wilson.
Lululemon shirt. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like one of like the sad, not the saddest, but the funniest things for me is like when I like first moved to Canada and I went shopping and I all saw all the shirts were made in Indonesia. I was like, where do I buy this in Indonesia? God damn it! Why does
Yeah. I was in Vietnam when I was in Vietnam like many years ago, and I remember going to one of those street markets, and I bought basically authentic North Face jackets because I think that's where they get they get made. Like they get
Yeah,
made in the factories, and then probably people like steal them and bring them to the markets and sell them. But
yeah.
like I got a couple of pairs. I got a couple of North Face jackets, and I got a couple of pairs of what's it called? What's the trail running shoe? Solomon?
Nike. Oh,
Uh,
Saucony.
no, no, Solomon.
Oh, Solomon's. Oh, you got Solomon's in
Solomon.
Vietnam.
I got Solomon trail running shoes. And then you know what, I will say the Solomon trail running shoes broke down on me much faster than I expected. So they
Yeah,
were definitely nothing compared to the authentic ones. But the
yeah,
North Face jackets, man, the one I got Lynn, she's still wearing to this day. So
yeah.
pretty legit.
So okay, so regarding like I know we talk about a lot of things in this episode, but okay, regarding like fake, fake items. When I
Yep.
was growing up in Indonesia, soccer is a big thing, right? Like the English Premier League, everybody watches that. So
Yep.
we want to buy the jerseys. The thing is, like a jersey costs like back then like $100 or like $60.
Here.
Okay,
So if you were to buy it here or you
if you
being
buy yeah, if you buy the original, it's like $100. And
right.
remember, in Jakarta, a fresh grad is like 600. You're not gonna spend 1/5 of your pay for a football jersey. It's just dumb. So,
Yep.
so fake jerseys were rampant, but there were grades to the fakes. There's we call it KW or quality. So it's like KW 3 is like the worst. KW 2 is bad. KW 1 is acceptable. Like from far away, it looks like the real thing. But if you look at the design or like details, you'll see like imperfections and things like that.
Little things are off. Yeah.
But there's one called the super grade, and those
Hmm.
are like indistinguishable. And I had a friend in university because like most of the football jersey manufacturers are in Thailand, like Adidas and Nike.
Right.
He will go to Thailand, and one jersey costs like So for example, if an original jersey is sold for like $100 in Thailand, like the super quality ones cost $5. And then he'll buy a bunch, bring it to Indonesia, sell it for $10.
Oh, of course.
He
Nice.
made like he made like what for each trip was like 3 grand, and he was like 3 grand in Indonesia, and he was a student. He was a pioneer back then, and he started like he started having like foot soldiers, so he became like the guy who only purchased it. So he found like resellers for him.
That's amazing. He
I know,
basically
right?
built a business out of selling smuggled goods.
Well, not no, it's not smuggled. It's just like I mean, yeah, I guess it is. It's like fake. It's not like fake goods,
Yeah.
but
But I mean, what makes something like original? That's what I've always wondered. Like, just because it has like an official looking tag on it doesn't necessarily, it's all
'cause
in the eye of the beholder.
yeah, I was talking to my friend, and apparently, like most of the time, the super quality is actually from the factories, and then the
Right.
workers just like printed extra ones, and then just like you know, and
Kind of
then so it's like
smuggle it out. Yeah. So,
but so it's honestly like the same, and then because in the end, like the original one, you have to pay for like all the shipping and all the taxes for like if you export it to like
exactly.
Europe or something, right? So there's like a lot
Plus
of like overheads in there, a
an
lot of like
outrageous
additional
markup.
costs.
Yep,
Whereas like
for
this is
sure.
just like straight from the factory. That's it.
So why don't you ever get like your parents to or your mom to, buy these super great stuff and then have her ship it over to you?
It's illegal in Canada, man.
It's just importing
I
it.
cannot get a like RCMP WhatsApp number and be like, hey man.
Well, I mean, it's just like you're shipping something over. You know what I mean? Like it's
Well, you know what? No, actually, my mom does get me a lot of like jersey, fake quality jerseys, but of course, like she removes the tag and everything, so it's
yeah,
just like I'm not gonna be able to resell it
yeah. I mean, you're not reselling it per se. It's just like
just for
even
my
like
personal use.
the hoodie that you're wearing. It's got a nice little Nike
Like,
logo on it, but like
yeah. Oh yeah, no. Well, in that case, that happens all the time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's what I figured. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, I mean, and again, I don't condone like getting illegal stuff. I don't condone all of this stuff. No, absolutely, I don't.
Look at
Like,
you, Mr. Righteous.
I don't condone. I mean, I have done like, of course, I buy like fake quality shit. I'm from Southeast Asia. It just happened, man.
It's just a way of life. Yeah,
Yeah, but at the
it
same
would
time,
be
you just
wrong
have
for
to
us not to
understand
do
our
that.
purchasing power is different.
Yeah, I think that's the
Right.
thing, right? Like it's when you have the connections, you can just go back there and buy so much stuff, and then like it really gets you thinking. Like once you've been to like Southeast Asia and you've bought the clothes there and all that stuff, it's like you look at the clothes here, and I'm just like, I don't want to buy any of this. Like this is so expensive, and
Right.
that's why you'd never see me wearing like North Face or what's the other brand called? I don't know.
Patagonia.
Oh my god, I don't understand how someone can buy a $600 jacket and
Oh
just be
man,
like,
dude,
"Oh, it's an
I
investment."
bought a Patagonia jacket one time for my birthday.
Man,
It still looks the same. I'm sorry to say, it's great. Patagonia. I stand Patagonia. But then like,
well,
but that's like the only one of the only branded things I have. You know what? No, I lied. I bought an Arc'teryx jacket.
Arc'teryx, that was the brand I was thinking of, and
Yeah,
I
that
have some
one's a bit.
friends who
You know what?
stand by it.
Yeah, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I spent like $200 on it. Also, still looks the same. So yeah,
I mean, that seems low, but you
yeah.
know.
Oh no,
But
I'm
are
just
you
like
like, are you rough with it?
no, man. It honestly is like the opposite effect. I use it to go to like coffee shops and stuff.
You know what I mean? Like, I think you're like, when you're spending like $200, $300 on a jacket, you're like extra gentle with it.
Right? It's just
So
like it's like the opposite effect of why you want to buy like this outdoor jackets.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
So
I think I read a tweet one day. It's like these days guys will buy like Dickies outfit to do not Dickies stuff. Do you know what Dickies is?
Isn't that the construction brand? Like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
yellow and circular thingy.
yeah, yeah.
I've never understood that brand. That's construction, like it's for construction workers,
So they're
basically,
famous
right?
for their overalls and things like that. But then hipsters start
Right.
using it, and then it became. So it's just like, yeah, yeah. It's definitely interesting in terms of like fashion or things like that. Especially like, like rappers start wearing like Arc'teryx because it's a flex because it's so expensive.
Oh yeah, yeah. People, you know what? You know what's a flex?
What?
When the Apple Ultra watch, like the Apple Watch, but like the Ultra, so it's like
Yeah.
$1,200 or something like that.
Shit.
I don't know why. I had a couple of people in my life buy it because they're just, and I'm like, I remember asking them, "Do you do ultra sports?" And they're like, "No." They're like, "Why'd
Yeah.
you buy it?" I just like it. It's nice.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
Whereas
I don't
like, whereas
understand.
like a cheaper like couple hundred Garmin can do much more, or if not better. But
Yeah, I
that's the
got
thing,
myself a
Garmin's, yeah. But that's
yeah.
the thing, right? It's also like you're a marketing person. It's all about the brand loyalty and brand awareness. You
It's
start, you,
the aura. Yeah.
right? You're just like, oh, I'm wearing an Apple, like, oh.
Yep.
But I don't know. I feel like I kind of see it in like running shoes or like because running communities these days is also like they're wearing like all their like expensive running gear to flex and stuff.
Hey man, I will stand by expensive running shoes because I will say so story time. I went for a run yesterday. So like
Hmm.
I used to I had my racing shoes were Saucony something Pros.
Pellegrins? No.
No, not Pellegrins. They were orange and they were like lightweight. They've got the nylon flex thingy at the bottom, so like you feel a little bit of bounce like every step of the way, so like you actually do get a bit of like vibration and reflex and whatnot, so you do actually run a bit faster.
Okay.
I yesterday so I ended up throwing those shoes away because I went through my like 200 300 miles, and I went through a marathon with them and like basically a year and a half of training, so it was time for me to move on to
Mm.
shoes. I had a pair of Saucony Echelons, I believe, and they're
Okay.
like 50 bucks. 50 bucks
Hmm.
shoes. I bought them because I was just like, you know what? I go through these shoes very quickly. I'm gonna go through like 300 miles in like 3 months because I'm training for a marathon again. Got I did a 15-kilometer run yesterday. Blisters everywhere. Man,
Really?
like these shoes, they suck. Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm like, my timing slowed down a little bit. I was huffing and puffing by the end of it. I'm like, I need better shoes. So,
You know what? Running shoes is fair because it does take the brunt of the work. But
yes.
I've seen
Yeah.
some people who just got into running and getting like Adidas Bostons or like
Oh,
those like
yes.
those Hoka Bondis. Man, you're barely doing a kilometer run, man. You don't
Yeah.
need this stuff, man.
I
But
will
like
say Hoka Bondis are pretty great. I love
but
them.
I guess I'm talking about people who are like, like those expensive like running like jerseys.
I
They're
love
like with
running.
their shades and
Yeah.
I'm like, no man, you just like
Just flexing. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I always tell people because like people start asking me advice on like running. I'm just like, here's the thing, man. The best running shoes is the one you actually use.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like
I
in the
mean,
end, the goal is not to like, you know what? No, I apologize. Some people actually buy running shoes to sign up for a race. So I'm not. I did that before. But the goal is just like to get out and run.
what do you mean by you bought running shoes just to sign up for a race? You mean you
Yo,
sign up for a race so you bought running shoes?
yeah, yeah.
Or
So
the
my
other way
friend,
around?
my friend really wanted to buy like, what was it? I think it's like one of the on runnings. I think it's like the Cloud Monster or something. But to justify his purchase, he signed up for like a half marathon. And I'm like, man, that shoe became like an additional like $80 more expensive. He signed up for a half marathon, but it's just like, I commend you. I commend you for doing that.
But
And
did
he did.
run
He did his
marathon?
first half marathon of. He did his first half marathon of his life, just so he can buy like On Running Cloud Monster, which I think is a good segue if On Running want to sponsor us because I love them.
You know what? At the very least, he did the run. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's like the opposite would be signing up for an expensive gym membership, knowing that like you're gonna go, but then you don't end up actually using it.
You know why? Because you can't flex. You can't flex your gym membership except if you sign up for like what's the one in downtown there?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the like
The expensive ones, right?
expensive private club, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a elective something like that. Genesis, no,
Yes.
some
No. It's
cool name like that.
yeah, I can't remember the name right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've walked by, I've looked in.
Mm-hmm.
I will never sign up for something like that because I do not care enough for it. I
Yeah,
want to
man.
be
Dude,
outside.
I signed up for like the community gym. Okay, but before we continue, we do only have 4 minutes left. Should we wrap this up?
Hells yeah, we should. Nice. This was nice, man. I think we started from nothing and we went somewhere.
I know, no, this is good. This is good. So how do I do this? So should we just like say bye, bye?
We could just say, well, I think that's a wrap. I think today we covered the comedy shows all the way to running, which
No,
banter about nothing, and we went.
at one point it was about border agents and
Yes, well, that's comedy show, and then went to border agents, and then we finished off with
briberies.
bribery, running, Artha's fantastic tips for making
Again,
money.
I feel like I feel I'm very Chad now. I'm literally like like I'm more like not necessarily like street smarts, but I feel like I've indulged in quote unquote I guess like
Bro,
things
I,
that
I think I think you need street smarts to get by in Asia. I think that's the whole thing with Asia. You have to know when to flex, and you have to know like who you know to get by.
absolutely.
So
And I think that is the moral of the podcast today. It's just like who you know,
who you know. Yeah.
All right, cool beans.
Well, that's
All right,
it for today.
Cool. I'm gonna stop this and yeah, like and subscribe, everybody. Bye bye.
Wait. We should say thanks for watching, everybody. Join us again in either next week or in a couple of weeks as we dive into another episode of Chad and Dad.
Chad and Dad.
Chad and Dad. Do. Okay.
All right,
Let's
okay, see ya.
pause it.